back to Be Creative Stamping. Today I'm going to show you how I organize my sponges. The first thing we'll need to look at is our idea book and catalog. Let me show you the sponges that I'm talking about. They're called stamping sponges, and they're located on page 210 of the idea book and catalog. And you do get 3 sponges in a package for $3.50. So what I like to do is take my sponge, and I'm sorry I didn't have any whole sponges to show you today. So we'll pretend that this is a whole sponge, and we're going to separate it into quarters. And so half of it has already been done, and then I'll take a pair of scissors and I'll show you how I cut the sponge, just like this. Alright, and then I'll have 4 sponges out of 1 sponge. And then the next thing I like to do is to take a paper clip, label it, and actually add the sponge to the paper clip. So let me show you how I do that. To organize your sponges like mine, you will need some paper clips. These are binder clips, and I did purchase these at Staples. This is an older container. So the medium binder clips used to come in this container, but just last week I found the binder clips in the package hanging up. So you definitely want to make sure that you are using the medium, okay? Now the next supply that I'm using is the P-Touch label machine. So if you have this, you're actually going to type up your labels using the deco mode. And when you use the deco mode, you get 15 different designs on how to create your labels. And so for the sponges today, I'm using the deco mode 13. And you'll also want to be sure that you use the 1/2 inch cartridge. And I like the laminated white, because using the laminated, even if ink gets on top of this label, this will wipe off because the tape is laminated. And then of course the third item you're going to need is the color of the cardstock. So I want to show you how to cut this to fit your binder clip. Our next step is to create or cut a piece of cardstock that will fit on the medium binder clip. And so I'm going to give you those measurements. I'm going to open up my Stampin' Trimmer, and we actually need to cut it at 5/8 of an inch. And I'm going to show you where that is, and I may even zoom up so you can see it closer. So we're going to use this measuring guide on the right side of the paper trimmer, and this is 1 inch, and this is 3/4 of an inch. Now at this point I'm going to try and zoom up, and I'll scoot the paper trimmer down some. Let's see. I think that might work, and you should be able to see. So again, here's your 1 inch, here's your 3/4 of an inch, and we want the 5/8 of an inch. So the 5/8 is located between a 1/2 inch and 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to slide my Melon Mambo paper to that 5/8 of an inch. And I'm just going to be I'm going to be looking at my guide, and I'll actually zoom out now. I'm just going to make sure that my cardstock is even with the lines on the trimmer. And then I'm going to hang on to my paper, and I am going to cut it. Alright, so now I have it at 5/8 of an inch. Now the second thing I'm going to do is to cut it at 1 1/4 inches. So this is 1 inch, this is 1/4 inch, so I'm going to move right over here, and I'm going to bring the cutter up here, and I'm going to trim that. And I will actually do that twice, so the color will be on both sides of the medium binder clip. Okay, So now that that is done, we're actually going to add the label. Okay, so here's the Melon Mambo label, excuse me. I'm going to peel the tape off the back of this. And I am going to center this, and hopefully you'll be able to see this. I'm going to center that label right across the paper, and you can line it up with the bottom. And then I'm going to turn it over, and I am going to trim the excess of that label just like this. And now my label is ready to be attached to the clip. So I'm going to use Tombow glue. I found this to be the easiest thing to use, and I know it will stick in just a matter of minutes. I'm using the fine tip, and I'm just going to scribble some adhesive there. And then I am going to attach this to the clip, make sure it's in the right place. And you can see the little label there. And then I'm also going to turn it over, and I'm going to put that piece of cardstock there too. That way, whichever way I turn it, I know that I'm using the Melon Mambo. All right, so we'll take a few minutes and let that dry. We're now ready to add the sponge, and we've already cut that into 1/4 inch pieces. And so all I have to do is to squeeze on these 2 prongs and insert the sponge as far as I would like it to go. And then I will be ready to sponge with that. Also, sponges are easy to clean. Just wash under warm water until all of the ink rinses out and let it dry. So thank you so much for buzzing by, and just let me know if you have any questions.
Yeah, you'd be my sunny day.